All right, time once again for Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com, on their on-demand, on their app as well, of course, on Facebook Live. We're on 1010's Facebook page. How you doing, Facebook? And, of course, streaming on the relevant app, the group messaging app with live interactive podcasts. Check out all the great channels and all the great content we got going. All right, it's game day, game night. Jags take the field tonight against the Cleveland Browns. Starters will play. We don't know how long yet, but that's okay. Look, if they have success early, get them out. I'm okay with that. We'll get into that a little bit, but it's going to be a great night. I am not going to the game. I will be watching it on TV, of course, but my band is taking the stage at 9 p.m. tonight at Culhane's Irish Pub in Atlantic Beach. So when you're done with the game, and you live near the beach or want to come out to the beach, drive safe, take Uber, whatever you got to do. Don't drink and drive. Go home if you have to. I'd rather have you go home than come to see us if you've been doing that. But come on by. It'll be a rocking time. 70s, 80s, 90s, rock and roll hoochie coo, man. Just freaking do it. You know what I mean? I would say the other word, but I probably shouldn't here on 1010XL's podcast platform. But I'm excited for the team. I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited that football is back. I mean, come on, it's back. Every level is getting going. High school, even go middle school, high school, college, of course, the NFL in full swing now with the NFL preseason. Last night, I thought it was interesting with Mike Vrabel. So he pulls Malik Willis from the game because he's running too much. Now, granted, look, you look at his stats, you're going to be like, wow, he had a good night. And he did. He's got great escapability. There's no doubt. Now, I just watch the highlights. I watch every play that he was in. What I saw, look, he's a young rookie coming from Liberty, of all places, you know what I mean, into the NFL. If the first guy wasn't there, he was off and running. He's got to hang in there. And that's why Vrabel pulled him to say, hey, look, and maybe that's a little psychological. Like, look, we know you can run. We know you could probably take off on every snap and get positive yards and maybe even have a good game. But when you do that, the risk of injury is great. I mean, very great. I don't care how fast you are, I don't care, but you get hurt if you continue to run like that as a QB. They want you in the pocket. It's proven. Doesn't mean there's not rollouts and guys make plays outside the pocket, but the majority of the passing attack in the NFL is from the pocket, and that's how they want it. And, maybe Vrabel's playing a little psychological game with them. Hey, we don't give a crap about the Titans, of course, but nonetheless, I like watching football, so it's fun to see that and see them get after it a little bit. Our Jags, of course, going to take on maybe Deshaun Watson. Wouldn't you like to knock his you-know-what in the dirt? You know what I mean? Not literally, figuratively, but really smash him one. I would, personally, kind of run right through him. One of my best hits on a quarterback, I hit Tony Banks once. He was playing for the Rams. And he rolled out, and my job was I could go get him if he rolled out because I was a backside and cover two, and I had a full line on him. I didn't tackle him. I ran through him, and he bounced off the turf 3 times. It was a phenomenal collision, and he took a minute to get up. It was great. I mean, it was so much fun, just full speed and not even like, trying to dip and wrap and pick. It was just, you know what, you're in my way, and I'm going to run right through you. And if it was a cartoon, he would have disintegrated into 1,000 pieces. That's what So, yeah, let's do some of that. Somebody come and give him a shot. It's going to be interesting because there could still be a ruling before the game that he's done for the year and he's not playing. Like, to me, it feels like one of those crime dramas on TV. It's almost too perfect. You know what I mean? Oh, we get the judge. She says 6 games. Oh, we're going to appeal it. We're saying a year. Let's drag it out. And all of a sudden, boom. No, because now they have to give him a bigger sentence. Graham, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Or afternoon. How are you, bud?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. They have to, get with Deshaun Watson. They have to. I lost my total train of thought, but I'll bring it back. That they have to do this. The NFL for the PR. For the damage control, for the whatever, for the goodwill to be like, no, 6 games isn't enough. He's done for the year. I'll tell you this. It's all, and again, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy guy, but like when the commissioner's like, when he uses the term predatory. And it was. You could make a claim that it was, to me, he's throwing down the hammer. And he should. If that's the finding, and I agree with it from the outside looking in. Look, was it full predatory? Maybe not. But was there some predatory, circumstance?
Was there enough to use the word?
Yeah. And the answer is yes. Thank you. And so to me, they're going to lay it down. But why not just lay it down? I know you kind of got to go through it. The NFLPA's got to protect their guys. You can't just say he's done for a year. No, we'll let the judge do it because we all trust judges. I got nothing against Miss Robinson. I have no idea who she is, but she gives 6 games. Now, what I learned, and I didn't know this, if she gave 0 games, if she said I found no evidence, he shouldn't be suspended at all, then there would have been no appeal. It was over. I didn't know that. Dempsey told me that during the show today. So if she came down and said, I find no evidence against him at all, he's not guilty, no suspension, neither side could appeal it.
Is that because there's no actual sentencing to appeal?
That's the thing. There's no precedence. What's the precedence?
Right.
It's not Ray Rice knocking his woman out in the elevator. It's not that. It's not Greg Hardy throwing his girl on a bed full of guns or whatever the hell he was doing, that got them kicked out of the league. What is it? Right? Is it Roethlisberger? Right? What when he went through his, I think that was in Georgia, being accused of sexual assault, that whatever happened, he got suspended, right? There was games for, is that I don't know what the precedent is, and I don't think they know, but now we're going to find out because guess what? You give them a year, that's the precedent. You're going to start with that. You may back it off based on you could compare it if there is ever another, situation like this. By the way, you massage therapists out there, you don't ever have to sign an NDA. Ever. If some jackass wants you to sign an NDA, you give them the upside down W. You know what I'm saying? No way.
You shouldn't.
No, that's the first red flag. What are you talking about? I'm here to work on your muscles. What do I have to? What? What are you going to tell me something that you're not going to tell anybody else? You know what I mean? It's so fishy.
It's
77 of you. Did 77 of you sign an NDA?
It's different from if you're going to date someone famous or something like that. It might make sense, but a massage.
Think about this. Okay, so I had a massage therapist. His name was Chris Long, and a lot of guys had him. He was phenomenal. He was the only one I had. I didn't go out, I didn't swipe. They didn't have swipe left back then, but, it feels like it's almost like a Tinder thing. Oh, she looks hot. I wonder if, she's a massage therapist. Man, maybe she'll come. That's what it feels like.
With Deshaun, it was Instagram.
Was it Instagram?
Instagram was his big platform.
Right. So that's
how you find massage therapists.
Think about that.
Instagram.
I'll fly you in.
Right.
Can't wait to feel you. Work on me. What?
Because an NFL starting quarterback.
NDA.
Because a starting NFL quarterback needs to DM girls on Instagram to find massage therapists.
That's bizarre behavior. It's deviant behavior, in my opinion. But what about the Texans? Go after their ass. They knew about it. They settled with 30 women or 24 women, whatever the heck. Go after their ass. I want to, if you were protecting him and allowing this kind of behavior, hey, man, I get star treatment, but that's ridiculous. Nobody.
They gave him and the girls the NDAs to sign. They're the ones that provided the NDAs.
That's just shady. I don't know. And then you look at the NFL as a whole, and we'll get into the game because I know that's more important. But, Washington, what are you going to do with Daniel Snyder? What are you going to do with him? That whole thing, taking the cheerleaders with the sponsors, trying to set, that. What about that? What about that work environment?
I'll tell you, Deshaun.
Now you got the Texans. You know what I mean? What are we doing here with these owners? They don't get free ride. Well, it's their league, so maybe they do. But I don't know. To me, that's just, what are you going to do about that? You want to punish the players, and you should. But what about the owners? You going after the owners at all?
If you suspend Deshaun Watson for a year, you got to answer about Daniel Snyder.
Without a doubt.
There's no way.
Without a doubt. And if I'm the PA, I'm going after that. I'm saying, okay, fine.
Absolutely.
Okay, we get it. You know what? We'll take it. But
Absolutely.
What about them? What about him? What about this?
Could not agree more. Yeah. That's because, again, it's all about precedent.
Right.
Okay, if this is the precedent for what people are calling people that have important influence in this decision, the commissioner and Sue Robinson, calling this predatory behavior. That same terminology has been used about Dan Snyder. So how are you going to give Deshaun Watson a year?
Agreed.
But then Dan Snyder, you're an owner, it's okay. No, that's not how it should
work.
It
almost feels like the Stephen Ross thing, like they got him for talking to Brady. Like that's the charge. What about offering your coach $100,000? Was that part of the deal? Did they even mention that? I don't know. Like that's it's wild. You peel back that onion, baby. You just don't know. That doesn't. God. It's not just the NFL owners. You go to even more astute people. You peel back that onion, we might be afraid. All right, let's peel back the onion on our Jags taking on the Browns. So what do I want to see tonight? Macro level, I want to see a touchdown drive by my first team offense. That's what I want to see. I don't really care how they get. I mean, I don't want it to be a hodgepodge of penalties, and I want first downs, good runs, good passes, good flow, good mix, good rhythm, touchdown. See you later, Trevor. Done. I don't care. Just that's fine. You go 3 and out, I got to see you again. You go 3 and out, I got to see you again. Eventually, you're going to, maybe 3 of those, and then you're done if it's not going anywhere. I don't expect that, but we'll see. But I want to see that from a macro level. On the defensive side, I want to see this first-team defense, man, because I believe in you. I think they could be potentially special. The size and speed, athletic ability, tenacity, they have it. At least on paper, they have it. They've got to stop the run. They have to stop the run. Show us tonight that you can stop, that you are a stout defense. They invested in, what did they invest in? The D-line and linebackers. For what? To stop the run and to be good on third down. I feel good about the rush. I do. Third down, got Arden Key in the middle. You got 2 young guys outside. You got a couple linebackers that can run. You're going to mix and match. You can do some drill, stunts and whatnot. I feel good about that. What I don't feel good about is stopping the run. And if you don't stop the run, you're very rarely going to be able to stop the pass. It's that hard. So you got to stop the run and shut that down. I want to see some stout defensive play tonight.
The last time you and I were in here, you made a big point. You've not just that time, you've done it a bunch of times. You've made a huge point about if you're going to run a 3-4 defense, you better have a dominant nose.
That's the micro, right? You look at the defense, what's the key? Nose tackle.
So period. Based on what I saw in Canton, Ohio last week, Foley Fatukasi better be a dominant nose or else they could be in trouble up there because Devon Hamilton is not showing me anything.
I don't get it either.
I'm worried, man.
Well, I do get it. You know what happens to Devon? He stands up. And the minute you stand up, it's like picking a guy up out of the club. 2-on-1, you're going. I don't give a crap how big you are.
Especially as a nose.
You're going. You're out the door. I got 2 big dudes taking on 1 dude, and they get a hold of you. You're going. Well, that's the same thing. Like, you can't be up high. You got to be low. You got to have that leverage. I don't know why Malcolm Brown's not my nose. With New Orleans, I remember when they signed him, like, he's a good nose tackle. Like, he stood out on a very good Saints defense, if you remember. They were very good. Davis, the linebacker, Jordan up front. They had that other DN that ended up going to Cincinnati, Hendrickson. You know what I mean? Like, they had a stout defense.
Really good.
And then guys on the back end that were incredible, too. So I'm expecting him to be my nose. But if it's Foley, fine. But that nose, I was explaining on Jaguars today, if that nose gets pushed, like, okay, so say I'm the left linebacker. And I'm the bubble player, which means the guard's uncovered. I'm the bubble inside linebacker. There's always a bubble inside linebacker in a 3-4 because that nose is typically in a 0 technique, right on the center. Sometimes he'll shade. Sometimes he'll just be right on the center. So if that nose gets crashed down by a guard and gets pushed, well, all that guard does is, okay, you got him, and I square up on the backer. It happens fast. It's not slow like that. It's really fast. Now, what that does is the backer's most likely going to take on that guard 3 or 4 yards from the line of scrimmage because he's not just going to run right up there and, you got to see where the play's going. By the time you understand where the play is, you're going to have to take on that guard one-on-one, buck his ass, and then hit the running back. Very, very hard to do. Now, if the nose doesn't get pushed, guess what happens? The guard's got to stay on him. Because what happens? If I go up to the backer and he's there, he's just going to go make the play. Like the left block that I'm blocking him from, I'm gone, play, done. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Now that middle backer's one-on-one with the running back.
Now he's one-on-one, like, let's run. And I can take on, because the guard's going to be late, by that time, I'm forward, and I'm taking him on 2 yards from the line, 1 yard. Now there's no vertical gap. A vertical gap is, here's the line of scrimmage, right? And here's where I take on my linebacker. If I take on the linebacker at 1 yard, there's no vertical gap. If I get him at 4 yards, look at that vertical gap. That means that back can go either way. You want to guess this side? I'm going this way.
And that guard's probably got a head of steam, too.
Right.
He's going to be able to really hit you and probably drive you even 1 or 2 more yards back.
But even if you stone him, like you stop him in his tracks, that's only part of the battle. It's getting him out of the way and then making a tackle or hoping you stone him good enough that someone's coming from the cavalry. But if that D lineman's getting pushed, guess who he's getting pushed into? The other D lineman.
Right.
And it's just,
right.
It's like a wave. You can't win with without a stout stud nose tackle in a 3-4 defense. You can't. It'll never work. It'll never work. So I want to see that from a micro level as well. I also want to see, I know in practice, Trevor's looked really good. His mechanics especially. I want to see that in a game, especially during adversity. You know, Chris Sims made these comments after Thursday night. Did you see those? Did you see what Chris Sims said about him?
I heard it, but I didn't I heard he said something, but I didn't.
It's not verbatim, but it's like, man, I watched him warm up. Oh, man, he's fixed. And you're
yes, I did see that. I did see
dude,
that, yes.
It's not about when everything's good. It's about when you're getting the crap kicked out of you and you're tired. Are your mechanics still tight, or do they get loosey-goosey because your mind's thinking, I'm tired and I'm sick of getting hit?
There's a
big difference.
There's 32 starters in this league.
Why am I yelling? I don't know. Maybe because I got a gig tonight because I'm yelling later.
You're getting psyched?
Yeah.
There's 32 starters in the NFL that can look damn good on air.
Of course. Totally.
I mean,
right. You're an NFL quarterback. Of course you're going to look good. What are you going to look bad for?
Exactly.
So I want to see that translate. Cam Robinson, dominant in practice. Let me see him dominate tonight. Fair? I think that's fair.
Absolutely.
Who is my right tackle? Is it? I have a feeling Jawan Taylor's not going away quietly. He's back. He's healthy now, or healthier. And I know what we said about him in the past, but that guy's been your starter for 3 years in a row, every single game. He's not done fighting for that job, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I did hear Demetrius Harvey, congrats, going to the TU. He was on the Jaguars today. He says Shatley's locked up left guard.
I think so, too.
I haven't seen him in a game, though.
I've been out in almost every practice.
Yeah, and he's the one.
Every first-team rep I've seen, Shatley's been in. I haven't seen Bart's with first team. I like
Shatley. He's a tough hombre, man. He gets physical, he's quick, and he's tenacious, and he's very athletic. And I think Doug likes that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the starting O-line. Are they going to move people out of the way and give ETN a crease and Connor a crease and whoever else, Armstead if he comes in? You know what I mean? Where's that push? And then are you protecting my quarterback?
And I think something that this regime has done so far pretty quickly already that this team hasn't had in years.
Yep.
Is now all of a sudden with looking at who's probably going to start, who probably won't, the right tackle battle, you've got some pretty good depth across your line.
Totally.
Will Richardson's still a swing tackle.
Yep. Very good.
Walker Little or Jawan Taylor, whoever loses is going to be a swing tackle.
Yep.
You got Ben Barch now, who could start on a good amount of teams, is probably your swing guard now.
Yep.
You know Shatley can boot inside if something happens to Fortner.
Right.
All of a sudden, you feel pretty good about your backups, too. They have not had a horrible starting five the last couple of years, but if one guy goes down, liability.
No, right.
And all of a sudden...
Except Linder, because Shatley filled in.
Of course,
He filled in really good for Linder.
That's true. But
no doubt.
Other than that, like I remember 2018, one of the huge things that derailed that team was some of their linemen went down.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like, ooh.
Yep.
But now you got a little bit... You feel pretty good.
Even so I'll feel better when I'm confident that Cam is better.
True.
And that our right tackle is better.
True. On paper, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
You know what I mean? You got to see that.
You got to see it against guys in different uniforms.
Yep. Right.
I agree with that.
Well, and it's nobody's fault, but you see the team, you're like, wow, they look really good. But then you go against another team, you're like, well, where'd it go? You know, where, so what does that mean? I don't know yet. It's too early to tell what kind of team we have yet. Tonight will give us a little bit more of the story. You're writing a chapter tonight. It may not be a long chapter, but it's a chapter, and you're going to say, all right, you're either going to walk away from tonight going, wow, that was impressive. I'm jacked up. Not by individual play, by actual team play. And they don't have to win. I'm talking the starters. They go down, first team scores, defense shutting them down. 3 and out, done. You know what I mean? Get a couple sacks, whatever. Show that. That's a little bit of a story to write tonight, in my opinion. If it doesn't happen, is the sky falling? No. But how many years during the preseason? Don't worry about it. It's just preseason, man. Don't worry about it. It's just the first game. Don't worry about it. It's just the second game. No, we got to get rid of that. Let me throw this at you. I put it on Twitter and on the Relevant app. So last night, the Ravens win. 21 preseason games in a row they've won. That's 5 years, Graham.
It's crazy.
And counting. I went back to see what their records were. So you have to go back 5 years from 2021, with 2021 being the fifth year. 9-7, 10-6, 14-2, 11-5, and then 8-9. Of course, Jackson got hurt last year. Is there a correlation? I don't think it matters if you win in the preseason. I never have. I never gave it credit. Now, coaches want to win. They always want to win. Backup, start, it doesn't matter. We're here to win. I never felt like, as long as I felt like our first teamers were really making progress. You could see it, you could feel it, you witness it, you experience it, you're in the middle of it, and then spot backups. You see them, you're like, all right, he's good. All right, he's good on special team. We got our team. You know what I mean? But I never thought like, wow, because think about it. If my first team goes against their first team, equal amount of playing time, 1 versus 1, and I'm up 14-0, I kick their ass. I did for whatever period of time. If they come back and beat my second and third teamers like 20-4, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. Now, what do I care about? Who are the guys, my bubble guys? Did they make plays tonight? Because after your starters are done, then it's what? Who are my backups? It's not how number 2 plays the unit. It's who in that unit plays. Makes plays, because then I know they're my backups.
The classic guy that I think of when you say that is Keelan Cole from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right.
When he was an undrafted rookie, no one had ever heard of this guy.
Yep.
And then in the preseason, he makes all kinds of plays.
Yep.
To this day, he's a pretty good receiver in the NFL.
No doubt. So, can Doug Peterson get that? I mean, that's a culture of winning for both. I don't care. Preseason, I get it, but they're 21-0.
And I was going to ask you,
and you look at their records. Sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
There's got to be a correlation.
And is there possibly a link to the level of physicality that team likes to play with? Because the Ravens, when the Ravens are good and they're rolling, they're probably the most physical team in the NFL.
Very physical,
right? I mean, that's their thing.
Of the Titans and they're like two of the most physical teams week in and week out. Right. It's like in their core. It's in their blood.
And you look back when Maurice Jones-Drew played.
Yep.
He was known for being like, I want some time in the preseason.
Yep.
I want to hit. Yep. I want to get back in.
Feel it.
So is there something, too, if you're a physical team, needing that feeling of really getting in some car wrecks and really hitting some people before the regular season?
I always wanted that, right?
Right.
But you got to look at it from now, and unfortunately and fortunately for the players, because they're making a ton of money, and that's great, but the money's so big that you can't afford. Guy goes down. I just gave him, guaranteed money?
Right.
It's gone for the year anyway. And then I don't know if he's going to make it back, if he's going to be the same player. When he makes it, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't afford to get these guys hurt. But the flip side is you got to get them ready to play. So what's more? I don't know. I mean,
and if they're not ready to play, when the games count, if they're not ready to play, what am I paying for?
Right. So
it's really tough.
But it's a fine line. It's not like
super fine line.
We got to play them. It's like you got to play them a little bit and hope they don't get hurt. Look, both my injuries, ACL and my torn tendon in my foot, non-contact. Nobody hit me. I cut, and it popped.
That could have happened at any time.
Anytime. Could happen in practice. Could happen working out. Could happen
during
drills.
Warm-ups, dude.
Could happen in warm-ups. Could happen at any given time. So, I say play them and get them out. Get them out as quick as you can, based on their play. Now, like I said, if the offense goes 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, after that third 3 and out, I'm done. We obviously going to go back to the lab and work on some things. We're not going to fix it tonight. And by then, if the Cleveland Brown defense held you to 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, they're probably done, I would imagine.
And they're feeling pretty damn good about their first team defense.
They got some players on that side now. It's going to be a fun night. Listen, rain's coming in. Be safe out there. Have a blast, Jacksonville. Football's back. You got a new coach, new direction, new everything. I know I said that last year. Who made me do that video?
Well,
it was you.
It was me.
You son of a gun. I'm not doing it.
Well, I was going to say.
We're going to let them win a little bit, and then we're going to do it, right? Or are you asking me for a new video?
I'll always ask you for the videos because they take off every time.
That's right.
What I was going to say is, you know why people love reality TV?
What's that?
Because it makes them feel better about themselves, usually.
Right.
Tonight feels great because there's a reality TV show in this game, and it's not the Jaguars.
No doubt. Thank goodness.
Feels fantastic. There's some sort of comically bad storyline in this game with Deshaun Watson, and it's got nothing to do with the Jags. Yeah. They've just had a regular camp, nothing crazy.
Right. So I'm going to watch it on TV. I doubt the NFL is going to allow too many signs to be shown, if any at all, against Deshaun Watson. But that shouldn't deter you, Jag fans. I'm expecting to see stuff online, on Twitter, on
Let's get creative.
Like, come on. Get after his ass. He deserves it. That's a guy that thinks he's above the law. He thinks because he's a superstar, he can treat people however he wants. That's not real, and that's not fair. Go kick his ass.
More importantly, Trevon Walker, if you want to get another roughing the passer,
hit him in the head.
This might be the guy.
No big deal. Make it an inadvertent hit in the head.
We'll eat the 15 yards if we need.
Mr. Khan will pay your fine.
Right.
No big deal.
Exactly.
We'll take him out. All right, that's going to do it for us. Hope you have a great night tonight. Hey, listen, if you're not going to the game, or if you are going to the game when you're done, come and stop by Culhane's Irish Pub. We're 70s, 80s, and 90s rock and roll. I can't wait. We got some new songs. My band just rocks, and they're professionals, and they really know how to. I'm the novice. I just try to give it my all and have a good time, and we will have a good time tonight at Culhane's Irish Pub in Atlantic Beach. So until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Peace.